Hey folks, Un here, preparing to unleash a plague of IPAT upon the land once more. When we last left off in Hokuto no Ken for the Genesis, Kenshiro was fighting his way across the country of Shura to rescue Lin, and now he's going to continue doing that. I'm not doing great on health here, but as long as I can avoid taking too much more damage, I should be okay in the long run. Anyway, so that future events make a little more sense, I should probably explain a thing or two about the local government. As you might expect from a country of fighters, Shura is run by the best fighters in the land. And so you have three generals called the Rashou. The Rashou are all masters of Hokuto Ryuken, a fighting style that was developed in parallel with Hokuto Shinken, such as Kenshiro uses. Hokuto Ryuken's three Rashou are Han, Hyo, and Kaio, in ascending order of rank. And so they're going to be on Kenshiro's hit list not too far in the future. Also, Hokuto Ryuken is similar to Hokuto Shinken, except it uses a different set of pressure points, which mostly focus on imploding people rather than exploding them from the inside. So people with their pressure points pressed in Hokuto Ryuken typically collapse in on themselves. Also, it focuses on use of Matoki, which is a sort of dark ki, or kai, or however you pronounce that. Oh, here's Falco. And he's really fucked up and missing his real leg. Right around this point in the story, Falco, as it turned out, followed Ken to Shura. And he got himself killed by a Shura who hadn't killed his 100 other guys yet and even earned his name. So Shura are definitely hardcore. Falco got himself killed, you know, by a Shura trainee. And that's Falco being one of the toughest guys in the Hokuto universe. So that's another, just another thing to establish the badassery of the Shura natives, and also to once again make Kenshiro cry manly tears over the loss of another friend. As I was saying before, Hokuto Ryuken, in addition to being a sister style of Hokuto Shinken with different pressure points, it focuses on the channeling of a dark Kai power called Matoki, which is basically the dark side of the Force. It's where Hokuto Ryuken masters like Han, Hyo, and Kaio draw their power, but practicing Hokuto Ryuken also drives you insane and makes you, baby puntingly evil. So from this you can derive that the three Rashou are powerful dudes, and they're also really fucked up and evil and psychotic. Especially Kaio, the top-ranking Rashou. And I'm very grateful for these rooms because I really need the health right about now. Fortunately, as is fairly common for nearing the end of a chapter, I will be getting a full health restoration at the end of this one. So I'll be okay for chapter 4 in the end, I think, as long as I can survive that long. And if I keep having swords drop on my head and allowing that to happen, then I won't. So I will endeavor not to do that again. And holy god, that's a lot of arrows flying at me. A little more character detail on the Rashou. Han, whose castle we are in right now, so I'll be fighting Han at the end of this chapter. Han has no particular story significance beyond just being there to establish the Rashou as badasses. Hyo, on the other hand, is Kenshiro's biological brother. Yes, he has an actual brother in addition to his adoptive brothers back on the mainland. But Ken doesn't know that. And Hyo doesn't know that either because he had his memory sealed away a long time ago. And finally, Kaio. Kaio is Rao and Toki's older biological brother. Kaio looks exactly like Rao. They could pass for twins, even though Kaio is older. Yeah, he looks exactly like Rao except for scars on his face. And he also has really intimidating black armor. Incidentally, Kaio is completely corrupted by Hokuto Ryuken. He's like super evil. So he's like the Darth Vader of the Hokuto Shinken universe. His armor isn't even made for protection. It's made to trap and channel his Matoki, so that he can use his, evil Kai more efficiently. And so Kaio's got this freaky echoing voice, and, he's constantly pouring red smoke just because of this huge overload of Matoki in his body. So you've pretty much got a super evil, demonically powered version of Rao. And instead of Rao, who is basically your misguided fighting, meritocrat, Kaio's just a sick evil fuck. So I know GTF will differ with me on this, but I really like Kaio as a villain. He's just... I don't think he's a better character design than Rao because he's more simplistic in his motivations and all. Oh shit. I didn't want to fall down there. But I can get a little more health anyway. But Kaio's just scary, and I like that. He's a good, completely scary, hyper-evil type of villain. Moving right along, this is definitely the, well, no, actually, there is one more labyrinth that's more complex than this one. I was about to say this is the most complicated one, but no, there's one that's a little bit worse in the 4th chapter. This one is definitely a step up from what we've seen before, though, and we have to mind the gap, as they say in the UK. Anyway, we're ultimately trying to work our way up to the top floor this time, where we will fight Han. And Han was a total monster in the source material, despite being the weakest of the Rashou. He tested Ken like few people other than Rao and Falco previously did. They had this huge multi-episode battle that just really pushed Ken to the limit. However, oddly enough, in this game, he's really quite easy. You can fight him pretty much the same as most other bosses, just kick him fairly shallowly with jump kicks, try and avoid his own jump kicks and punches. But he doesn't retaliatory punch quite as often as guys like Solio and Falco. And his big special move, like you just saw, where he jumps in the air and makes fire rise from the floor, if you've learned to recognize the sign of it when he just jumps shallowly and sticks his hand out, it's really quite easy to dodge. You just jump and you'll pass right over it. And as you can see, I'm wearing him down steadily. He does good damage, but we land our final 100 crack fists, and that's the end of Han. And he does his little dying speech, as we've come to expect. He doesn't explode, but he is in fact dead. In the source material, Kenshiro sent him off the roof of his castle. Anyway, we're now ready to move on to the 4th and final chapter. These guys that are rising up from the ground, they're based on Shie, who is one of the sillier, fodder Shura villains from the anime. I don't remember if he was in the comics or not. He might have been an anime-only character. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, the thing about Shie, he was like a giant crab man with like big lobster claws and everything. He doesn't really have the claws here. But yeah, he ended all of his sentences with crab for some strange reason. So yeah, he would say shit like, prepare to die, crab, or, so you're Kenshiro, crab. So yeah, just one of the many fucked up character designs from the Hokuto property. Let me just go ahead and start the next stage. And in this yellow environment, that's a good place to leave off. I'm Un. This has been Hokuto no Ken for the Genesis, and I'll see you again next episode. Till then.